The best top expert tips and hacks to make your life better. Life hacks. Technology, business, multimedia, wellness and health, events, reviews, and more. This is Mary Collins with Life Hacks Media, and I have the pleasure today to have Monica Roberts online with me. Monica, hi, how are you?
Hiya. Hello, Mary. Nice to meet you.
You too. I'll just give a quick intro about what this interview is about and what your background is. Monica is from South Africa originally. She's worked in the UK in marketing and advertising and ended up in France, where she's part of the Lille group, which is ladies in Languedoc. And they have a personal community group that helps other expats who are new to the area or who have been here and need a support system, as well as having a business section to the group. So with that, Monica, would you like to tell me a little bit more about the group and how you got involved?
Okay, so I got involved with the main Lille group a number of years ago, mainly because they were looking for somebody who had a little bit more sort of marketing and technical know-how. And I was a part of that group for a number of years, and I think we recognized that Lille, the main Lille support group, was playing a fantastic role at helping people with emotional support. And we called it the role that it played was a virtual coffee morning. Mm-hmm. But what we also recognized is a lot of the women actually were running their own businesses. Mm-hmm. And what we didn't want was the main Lille group to turn into a sort of glorified advertising platform for people who were in business. Right. So we actually decided to create a branch of group called mm-hmm. Lille Business. And that was there to specifically help women who were trying to market their businesses in the French environment, specifically to an English-speaking community. Mm-hmm. And also, gave them the platform to advertise and to network with fellow business people, mainly because it resonates with me, because I'm a small business owner myself and trying to make a living in a foreign country, which is always a challenge.
Oh, yes. Always a lot of fun, especially when it's in another language. And speaking of challenges, this year especially has been a challenge for everyone having to adapt to the pandemic and online businesses. What drew my attention was that you guys are going to have a Christmas market this year, and you have a new twist to that to sort of adjust to online shopping, correct?
That's exactly correct. I mean, it's the same as yourself. We became aware of the fact that a lot of the people who normally take part in there are a number of very large Christmas markets that mm-hmm. happen in the Occitanie region, mm-hmm. and a lot of smaller ones. And a lot of our members are people who actually partake in these Christmas markets. And it actually forms, for a lot of them, a big part of the money that they earn every year. Mm-hmm. So we were very aware of the fact that this wasn't going to happen. It's been a challenging year for everybody. Mm-hmm. And so we tried to come up with an idea of how we can help people to continue selling what they'd made potentially for a Christmas market, mm-hmm. And also give the consumers out there possibly a bit of fun and access to stuff that isn't available on the high street.
Right.
Sort of give a few of the larger online retail organizations not exactly a run for their money, but I think a sort of local alternative.
Well, yes, and the importance of local alternatives, especially being that it keeps the local community alive, in the sense that it keeps them with their heads above the water, or at least hopefully does, by people purchasing things from the community. And you were mentioning before that Lille's started off as mostly a community group, and it still is, but now there's a business side of things. Life hacks. Every Sunday.
We have people that range all the way from sort of, our border is just the other side of Montpellier, and we have women all the way over to the Pyrenees and right up as far north as Toulouse. We're almost 4,500 women who now belong to this group. Excellent. So it's quite a large reach. The actual Lille business site is slightly smaller, but it's growing continually, and we're a lot younger as well. So that's sort of, I suppose, organic growth always takes a little bit longer.
Right. And so how does one get involved with either the community group or the business group? I mean, what are the steps to take towards finding out more information?
So it's pretty easy. I mean, there are a couple of prerequisites: that you are female, and that you are based in the Occitanie region,
Hmm.
and that you are prepared to communicate in English. So that doesn't mean that we exempt French people, but it's or other nationalities. It's just that the language that is used mostly on the site
Hmm.
is in English. That being said, we're not all English, as in
Right.
traditionally English. We are,
Right.
people are from literally all over. We've got a lot of Scandinavians, Germans, French,
Hmm.
Australians, New
South
Zealanders,
Africans.
South Africans, exactly.
Okay.
Americans.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Any person who speaks English is it can be a part of it.
Okay. And then so where do they go on Facebook?
So all they need to do is look for LIL
Hmm.
or Ladies in Languedoc,
Hmm.
and if they're looking specifically for the business site, they need to look for Lil Business, and it will pop up as a group.
Hmm.
If they join Lil and are accepted on Lil, and they then join the Lil Business side, they will automatically be accepted onto the Lil Business side. So they
Okay.
don't have to apply to both of them.
Mhm.
Well, they do have to apply to both of them, but the
Yeah.
application goes automatically on the second one.
And for people who are interested in putting their products, what are you looking for? And, how do they get involved? Do they just write an email to you guys on Messenger, or how does that work?
They can just go in and ask to join Lil Business. And
Hmm.
the minute that they are a member of Lil Business, they
Hmm.
then can add a post
Hmm.
about the business or about the product that they're trying to market for the Christmas market. So basically, there's a pin post all about how the market works at the top of the group. There's a video that I've done, and there's a fairly detailed post about the different ideas that we've thought about. And I mean, we recognize there's some traditional things that would come into a Christmas market, people who make jewelry, people who do
Hmm.
sort of arts and crafts, artists, but we've also tried to encourage people to think beyond that, because we also know that we have a lot of people who have got catering services, or people who are involved in alternative therapies, or sort
Right.
of massage or yoga. So we've said to people like that, is it possible for them to maybe set up some sort of voucher system
Right.
where they can create a voucher which people can then purchase, and that can be offset against one of the services that they provide.
Okay.
We've also encouraged people to possibly join forces with some other people within the
Hmm.
group and possibly put hampers together. So some of
That's
the
a great
food
idea.
people joining up with some of the wine producers
Hmm.
could actually put a really beautiful hamper together, which sort of personifies the south of
Hmm.
France, the area that we live in, which could then be sent to friends or family abroad as well. So we're really hoping that people will take the bull by the horns and sort of really think outside, just the normal things that you would normally possibly see at a sort of Christmas craft market.
Okay. Well, that's something we have to do. We have to adapt to the situation and make the best of it. And is there a charge to join the Christmas market? I imagine that in the past there would have been stalls and people would have paid for the stalls that they would have had. So how does that work with an online scenario?
There isn't. This is purely this year. It's completely a voluntary thing that we're doing to try and help
Okay.
promote people's businesses over this Christmas period. It's just a little bit of us giving something back, I suppose.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
and that's part of the reason why at this stage we've kept it to the sort of the actual group. If this is a success,
Mhm.
and if things like Christmas markets don't happen again next year,
Mm.
we might have a little more time and then possibly think about, actually creating possibly a website or something like that where people
Mhm.
can create virtual shops within it. But we sort of came to the idea a bit late in the day this year.
Okay.
and
Is
and
there
I
a
also think
deadline?
people just don't have money.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah. And is there a deadline to people putting their stuff together and ads together,
There
promos?
is No, there isn't a specific deadline, but it basically comes down to the fact that the sooner you can get something out there, the more airtime you're going to have. Because the way it works is people put up a post, which they can either create as a gallery with images and then price lists below it, or they can create a video. So if they have a shop scenario, they could actually walk around and do a sort of a virtual walkthrough. Yeah, so
that would be fun. You can make it like a virtual Christmas village. Oh, I'm so excited. It's actually making me look forward to Christmas.
People could really do as much or as little as they want to, so they can keep the post really, really simple if technology is a burden or a hurdle for them, or they can really go to town and create a sort of interactive video, as long as it can be posted on a post within the Facebook group, then at which they head up as Lil Christmas Market or Christmas Market. And then what we're doing is there's a facility where you can create post topics. So we've actually created a specific post topic within the group, which is the Lil Christmas Market. So if people click on the post topic, all the posts for that will actually come up as a stream. So people don't have to go looking down the live feed to try and find stuff. Everything will be all kept in one place. And then what we're going to do is actually use our larger Lil network to actually help market and drive people, so drive traffic from the Lil main group to the Lil business group, and encourage people to do their shopping through this local group rather than going on to one of the big sort of online retailers.
Why work harder when you can work smarter and live better? Life hacks
on radio.
We're hoping that people will get into the spirit of things, and and we'll put some sort of little teasers as to what people are busy posting. We've already had some really lovely ones, some lovely jewelry, some absolutely gorgeous homeware, products made out of wine barrels.
Oh, excellent.
Excellent.
So they go onto the business page, and then within the business page, they look for specifically the Christmas market, and then they post.
No, they don't even have to. They don't even have to look. Well, for people who are looking for stuff, so if they're coming to shop, then all they have to do is click on post topics, which on a laptop that's on the right hand side of your screen, you'll see a thing called post topics, and you look for Lil Christmas Market. Click there and everything will come up. If you're on a mobile device, the post topics actually come up just below the main header. There's a sort of line of topics that come, or a line of different things, and one of them is post topics, and they click on post topics and exactly the same thing will happen. And from there, they just click on whichever post interests them, and they basically deal with the post directly.
And do you guys have any other social media pages as well?
What we've got is a lot of little sub pages. So we have a little classified group as well. So people who are trying to sell odds and ends, because again, I think because we're a moving market, people move in and people move out. So there's that. And then we have smaller subgroups of the large group. So I think we've got ladies in Perpignan, ladies in Carcassonne, because I think we've also realized sometimes the very big Lil group is almost too big for people's just little small everyday needs. So those little niche groups have developed over time as well.
Excellent. Well, I hope you guys continue to expand. And if there are any more exciting updates, we will try on Lifehacks Media to update this at least once a month. And also people can go on to lifehacks.com. That's with a K and an X. Thank you so much, Monica. It's been a pleasure.
Mary, thank you so much. It's been great.
Top expert tips and hacks to make your life better. Life hacks. Technology, business, multimedia, wellness and health, events, reviews, and more.